Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Fro Thizzle, and today I'm going to be talking about Season 3 of Netflix's Squid Game. So ain't nothing to it but to do it. It does hurt to see Gi-hun back yet again fighting for his life through these games, and it was sad to see how much life has left him in the first couple episodes. He's become a ghost of a shell, his eyes are empty, and he doesn't want to talk to any of the players. Until player 149 gets through to him by telling him to take care of a newborn baby delivered by player 222. Gi-hun gains a second win by protecting the child, but it ultimately puts a countdown on his life. Besides Gi-hun, my favorite players out of the bunch are 149, Jang Gyum-ja, the mother of player 007, and I was rooting for the mother-son duo in season 2, and I did find their conclusion in this season to be absolutely heartbreaking. Player 149 is forced to stab her son in the back because he was about to kill the newborn during the Keys and Knives game. This moment shattered me to pieces, and I also found player 149's suicide to be very depressing, especially for a character that I was really invested in. But what a fantastic actress. 120 was also one of my very favorite players who I also thought went out in a very sad way. Player 120 was kicking ass and taking names and even protected players 149 and 222 while the baby was being delivered. 120 also had some of the more exciting action sequences, especially with the hand-to-hand combat skill that's displayed. And it did hurt a lot to see 120 get stabbed in the back, but she went out like a champ. 246, from what I recall, is the only player that makes it out alive and even gets a second chance with his cancer-ridden daughter, who seems to be healing and doing better by the finale. I did not expect him to survive at all, so I thought it was a treat to see him actually make it out. Moving on to the players that I despised. Player 333 takes the cake for being an absolute scumbag. He was willing to kill his own child for the love of money. We have a very creepy moment at the finale where player 333 and Gi-hun are fighting, with Gi-hun wanting to save the baby and player 333 ready to drop the baby off a super high pillar. Excellent actor, horrible human being of a character. Player 100 is the runner-up for biggest douchebag, and he just might be the main antagonist out of the players. He'll kill anybody that gets in his way and even sacrifices a couple players in order to survive. And he's one of the main guys that have no problem with killing the baby. So fuck player 100. Fantastic acting though. Player 044 is an absolute psycho, and I did find her character to be a bit laughable when she goes through her shaman abilities and even pauses to hear the voices that guide her in the right direction. But I did think the actress did a great job at selling crazy. Player 124 is a lunatic. He's a drug-addicted, bloodthirsty two-timer who bullies player 125 after killing the girl that he liked, Semi, in the previous season. The drugs were ultimately his downfall because when the jump rope game begins, he's going through severe withdrawal and ultimately gets tricked by player 125, who has the cross that contains the drugs. Player 125 throws it to the middle of the bridge. 124 runs over to it in frenzied panic and ultimately falls off the edge. I thought it was both weird and sad to have 125 take on 124's drug addict character traits after his death. 125 gets addicted as well and even dies nearly the same way that 125 does after going through hallucinations. Strange choice for an innocent character, quote unquote, like 125, but great acting. Player 096, this dude was pushing the other players off the jump rope stage, and I did think this was one of the more disturbing moments of the season for me. I am seeing a lot of people hating on the baby and the decision to bring the baby into the show. Although it is a very easy way to amp the intensity up, I still found myself on the edge of my seat, especially when a handful of the players wanted to actually kill the baby. The detective, who's been searching for the island for quite a while now, finally discovers it, points his gun at his brother's head, and lets him go. I thought this moment was pretty dumb, and it made me feel like it was nearly a waste following his journey. I did enjoy Captain Park flipping into a bad guy and killing the team on the boat, but the detective kind of felt a bit useless this time around. I did like that the front man gives the baby and the winner's money to his brother, the detective. I will say that. Moving on to the extremely divisive ending. The elephant in the room is that Gi-hun sacrifices himself for player 222's newborn because the red button wasn't pushed in time before player 333 falls off the pillar, leaving only Gi-hun and the baby. And only one player must survive to be the winner of the Squid Games. Gi-hun's final words are, "We are not horses, we are humans, and humans are." He doesn't finish his sentence, which leaves us to connect the dots and place our own meaning behind the ambiguous cutoff line. The frontman and the VIPs are visibly affected, especially the frontman who goes to Gi-hun's daughter's house to break the bad news and to also give Gi-hun's belongings and his money to her. For anybody that might be confused by the very ending when the American recruiter, played by Cate Blanchett, pops up, it's because they're setting up the American version directed by David Fincher, none other, which I'm really excited for. And I do expect Cate Blanchett to pop up in the American version as well, only because of her working relationship with David Fincher. And I think that's going to be a treat. She's one of the greatest actresses ever. Maybe she might not pop up. Maybe it's just a really cool cameo. But I know a couple people weren't gelling with this ending and they weren't really rocking with it. But I understood why they did it. And it's also to show that the games are global. So I'm excited to see what the future is in store for Squid Game. I know that Hwang Dong-hyuk is pretty much over with his involvement with his show. So he's passing the baton over, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. For my viewing, I thought this season was overall very depressing, bleak, and extremely moody, but I didn't mind its direction for the most part, due to the very strong performances and some highly intense moments. I enjoyed the games more so than the second season, especially Keys and Knives, which I thought had a borderline slasher horror feel. And I enjoyed the jump rope sequence as well due to the high panic nature and how far they fall down from the stage if they mess up. The third game I felt could have been a bit more creative, but that's just me. I do think the worst part of this season and the first are the appearances of the VIPs. I can't tell if they're being dubbed as well with their American dialogue pops up, but I do think the performances aren't great. Even the dialogue written for them is pretty cringy. And I think they could have definitely scaled their screen time back for sure. Random thought, but how many times does somebody kill themselves or somebody jumps off something to their death in this season? It did feel a bit repetitive, but overall, I'm going to give season 3 of Squid Game a 7.5 out of 10. And that's it, y'all. It's your boy Fro. What did you think about this season? Are you on a side that hates it? Are you on a side that enjoys it? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts. In the meantime, between time, I'm on to the next review. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. It helps the channel. Comment below. I have my Patreon in my description box and all that jazz if you want to support Fro Thizzle. And thank you guys for watching yet again. Much love. Peace.